Welcome back to the Rebel's Edge, coming to you live from Miami International Airport as I left Necker Island this morning. And it seems like I'm not the only one traveling, Pete. We got the president traveling with a whole bunch of those heavyweights, and we've got some insights to offer you about that on today's Rebel's Edge. Pete just reminding me this is the final Rebel's Edge of the week because we do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tonight, Pete, I'll be over at the Ritz in Fort Lauderdale giving some awards away to big hedge fund guys. That'll be fun. But yesterday it was down to Necker. Actually, you land in Beef Island, Tortola. Take a boat across to Necker Island, and I'll post up some more pictures, but it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
And Richard Branson and the whole crew, all very fun. Kite surfing, I mean, it is an adult playground. It puts Disneyland to shame.
Oh, God, yeah. Ain't that the truth?
But you know what else puts Disneyland to shame? President Trump's Air Force One.
Yeah.
Because he had the who's who on there. Blackstone, BlackRock. He had Tim Cook. He didn't initially invite NVIDIA, Pete. He didn't initially invite him. And that's because he wanted China to ask for it. Because he said he ain't selling. He is coming because you want him.
You need him.
You need him. So I think he picked him up in Alaska, Pete, as the plane went over.
Yeah. So, I'd heard that. Yeah.
Yep. And all those Trump haters, I think right about now, they're eating big time crow, including our friend Kara Swisher, Pete. Once again. Yeah. The who's who of the world financials were on that plane.
Yep.
And they are cutting deals. And China says, we should be friends. We should be partners. We shouldn't be fighting. Well, I'm sure she didn't like that either. Because if it would have happened with some other president, she'd support it, but not with this one.
No.
That's why it's one of my favorite lines from the Bible, Pete. Wisdom is justified by all her children. In other words, they can come up with any excuse to not like this guy and always point to something like, oh, he said grab him by the and so forth. Okay, he says a lot of weird stuff, but he's getting stuff done, and that's what we care about. All right, let's dive into macro, Pete. I'll say retail sales released today indicated month-over-month increase of 0.5%, which was in line with expectations. And I think what we're seeing on the rally today, Pete, is reaction to all the good news coming out of China and President Trump and all of those CEOs. What do you think?
I think it's that. I think it's the optimism of that, and potentially, obviously the day in and day out of Iran is always going to be something. It's going to be newsworthy of some sort or another. But also, John, again, let's just talk for a second about just how incredible these earnings in this cycle has been, with Cisco actually absolutely crushing it last night. I think the thing got up to I think it was up over 20% right after the earnings. So again, and I know we're going to talk about that one, but again, it's earnings and they're crushing it. And for all the folks that say the economy's not this or it's not that, well, I don't know what they're looking at, John, but when we see a lot of these numbers, yes, there are some that aren't pretty, but 90% of them, I would say, are pretty damn pretty.
Yeah. And we're going to dive right into that, folks, in just a sec. But first, Pete, the VIX under 18 and staying under 18 for now.
Yeah, not really a whole lot of movement there, John. As a matter of fact, when you look at it, you'd almost say, I would say rather that not only are we just below 18, but gosh, as we get closer to the weekend, there's a possibility we could get ourselves back down somewhere closer to 16. And I say that only because of the fact that, yes, we are getting pretty substantial moves, and that is the one thing that makes the VIX actually make a little sense above 16. But I'll tell you what, there certainly is a comfort level that people have reached, John. So 75 to 1795 or whatever it is, it's a very, very tight range again. And at some point, it's going to move. And unless there's some terrible news out there, I think the next move is going to be further south.
Well, what about this prediction market thing, Pete? I always like when I can find them. And it was a little challenging because the ocean between Necker and Miami is not too kind to Wi-Fi service. But I've got this one for you. How long will Trump and Xi shake hands when they meet?
What a great thing to bet on.
Yep. And so the range was basically, 2 seconds up to, they say it's a 96% chance that he'll hold on to Xi for at least 10 seconds. So they're saying 10 to 15 seconds, 96% chance, Pete.
You know what? I would take that. I swear to you, John, I've seen enough of these where I'm sitting there and all of a sudden it catches my eye in the distance and I see the president shaking hands with whomever it might be he's meeting with. He holds on for a hell of a long time. I don't know why it's so long, but it's an op, right? It's a photo op and all those things that go along with it. But Trump is definitely a guy who he's a long-term handshaker. There's no doubt about that.
Well, what about Cisco, Pete?
Yeah.
You already said they blew out the earnings, and boy, did they ever. They're going to cut some jobs because, hey, AI, one of the things that they support, of course, is helping them not have as many head count as they had beginning of the year. They're going to cut about another 5% of their workforce, Pete. But the revenue numbers, just spectacular. And we happen to have a little unusual activity as well. I know Pete's getting a kick out of the guys walking behind me, towing luggage around, but I love this one, Pete. Just yesterday, somebody lays down a bet and says, you know what? I'm going to buy the October calls at the 97 strike. They were in the money yesterday. Well, they're deeper in the money today, Pete. And this stock has been up as high as 120 today.
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible, John. As a matter of fact, after seeing that, I got a lot closer in expiration and put a little something on in this one. Lucky, but also, controlled luck as well, because we're seeing trades like that come into this thing. And it wasn't even just the trades, John. For me, it was also just looking at the earnings cycle and what things have looked like so far, and where those have been strong are very strong and those that are weak are pretty weak. Well, that weak side of it's not very big, but I looked over at Cisco and they did not disappoint in everything that the expectations I have, John, when you're looking at this thing. And they talked about restructuring, the strategic side of things, that you talked about the revenue. How about this? Up 12% year over year. It's only $15.84 billion, John, that they're putting up there. I mean, they reduced the workforce, like you talked about 5% or something like that. But, the AI related orders of $9 billion for the year, I would say that these guys have made a really, really nice move, and AI being a big part of what's happening with Cisco.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of flag waving over in China, but it's also going to be a lot of happy workers here in America that we're open for business again, Pete.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, let's hit POET Technologies. This one exploded. It was up. At one point, I saw it up 40%, Pete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They unveiled a deal with Lumen Lens for optical networking that could be worth $500 million over the life of the agreement. Phenomenal. And this one is a frequent flyer on our unusual activity list as well, Pete. I mean, it's been on, I don't know how many times, but certainly some of the recent purchases that people have been making, look at these. When the stock was, the 12th, that's only 2 days ago, folks. Stock was 1453. Well, it eased back a little bit to 1304, and they bought more. And, they were buying Mays that expire this week. 2 days ago, they're buying Julys that expire in 2 months, just yesterday. And look where the stock was, and it was over 20 today, Pete. So This was a big jump and another big winner. If you guys want to scan that QR code, you could be trading the same stocks we're trading.
Yeah, and this thing is becoming very similar to some of the other stocks that we've been seeing lately, John, where specific names are just seeing incredible amounts of follow-up, buyers, and Poet being a great example of that. And you've got two of them right there that were already just this week. But when you look at this deal that they've made, John, with Lumenlens, that's going to be amazing. And like you said, it could be upwards of, $500 million. Well, that's not so bad. And these guys are taking off pretty good. And that's why the stock actually jumped up 38, 40%, whatever it is to the upside. But this partnership, John, is kind of for the next generation chipset. So when you look at what they're doing and how they're advancing, it's very, very interesting to see. I think Poet is one of those names that, yes, it's going to have pullbacks. We saw that with the examples that you put up there, John, where it had pulled back. But the next thing you know, it absolutely explodes to the upside. So this thing is an absolute mover. And I think that they're doing these deals is a great thing and a great opportunity for them to get even bigger and bigger and bigger into the future. So yeah, this Poet unusual option activity, if people don't understand it, they need to get educated on options, number one, so they understand them much better, but also have to be able to have the opportunity to find out where this is, which is at market rebellion. I mean, it's just a fact.
Well, and then this one, Pete, ONDS. What do they do? Autonomous systems, robotics, and stuff for mission critical connectivity is what it says on their website. And I take them at their word. It was up 10%, then 15, then 20. Now it's up 25% in a single day. And I don't think this CEO happens to be on Air Force One with Trump, Pete, but boy, I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm going to let you tell them about how big the surge was that this stock had, but backlog surging, sales surging. I mean, we're not talking like 20% or something like that. We're talking hundreds of percent, right?
Well, to John's point, I mean, the backlog's up over 570%. I mean, it's numbers that they're mind blowing, right? I mean, you look at this and you go, my gosh, these guys are absolutely crushing it. And the full year revenue, John, as far as the guidance, the forecast that they're putting out there, well, it's up 670% year over year as well. So they are beating it in every way that you could possibly beat it. And it's amazing. Autonomous defense side of it, John, an almost $1 billion deal that they put up with the U.S. Army. So these guys are doing things, they're doing deals, they're doing things the right way. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen numbers quite like this in a while. I mean, this one literally is unbelievably moving strong to the upside. And it's something that I think people better understand because they've got the product demand that everybody would want to have. They have the strategic acquisitions that other people probably should have done, but they're executing and doing that. And that's why they're doing so well.
Pete, just to throw it out because the news is just coming across the tape, China's going to order, or it will order 200 Boeing jets. 200 Boeing jets. Now, we all know they could buy the Russian jets, they could buy their own Chinese jets, they could buy Airbus. They're buying 200 Boeing jets. So they're definitely trying to butter up Trump a little bit here. Pete.
Yeah.
And again, that's a lot of American workers that are very happy about that.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about Enovix. This one is an advanced lithium ion battery company. And of all the stocks that we talked about that are doing so great, this one, not so much. Basically, we're seeing a lot of people that want a different architecture of those batteries. These guys are getting kind of caught in the middle, and the stock is down some 18% so far today, Pete. And against a backdrop of great news across the board, these guys aren't delivering great news.
Yeah, they are not, John, unfortunately for them. I mean, they're just not able to do it. And, they continue to have losses. Yes, they had strong revenue, but they had strong revenue. And on the other side of it, they had a loss of 14 cents. So they're having issues there. I think investors are got some major concerns here as well, John. I mean, the losses are starting to add up. The cash burn is something that I think is concerning to a lot of investors. So when you look at that and then you start to, you can understand why the shorts are actually having a pretty damn good day in this one. A lot of the time we talk about these shorts, we talk about the squeezes, we talk about that, but it's not like they're always wrong, because they're not. But I think in this case, they are absolutely right. And the shorts of 24 to 28% are pretty damn happy about the direction that this stock has taken today. So kudos to them for understanding and seeing through all of the different things that they have to do to figure things out. But I'll tell you what, John, the stock was down as much as 18%. Last I looked, it was down a little bit less than that. But I would say the reason it got a little less than the 18% was maybe some of those shorts decided to cover just a little bit and put some of that money in their pocket, right? Because those numbers that they put up were really, really bad. And the earnings themselves, not so good. Revenue, great. You can have revenue all you want, but you still got to make some money, right?
Yeah. In other words, if you had to cut prices so severely because people weren't as hot on those lithium-ion batteries that you were selling, you can get more money in, but it, like you say, it's not profitability that people that are shareholders want to see. All right. Well, what do you got as far as sports, Pete? Last sports of the week.
Hey, man, last sports and we don't have any videos? I mean, what's going on?
Hey, man, I mean, I'm telling you, I was lucky I could even get the notes out today, because that free internet on American was not so great.
Yeah.
But they have it. They said, okay, free. And I'm like, great. So now the whole plane's on it. So I can't I'm getting kicked off and everything else. I liked it better when I paid for it, Pete.
Yeah, well, no big deal. I just was teasing with you anyway. But there's two guys that are playing right now in Major League Baseball. One of them is a guy that you talk about all the time, John, and I think you've been on it not just for like a couple of weeks or this year. You've been on it for multiple years, and I think it makes a heck of a lot of sense. And I'm talking about, in this case, Aaron Judge. I mean, this guy, not only is he a big menacing dude, man, at 6'7" and tough as nails, but here's what he's doing already this year. Again, this guy does it year after year after year, John, but he's second in Major League Baseball with home runs, got 16 of those, seventh in RBIs with 30 of those. As a Yankee career, he's got 384 career home runs. I mean, this guy is a pretty special guy. And when I bring something like this up, I just think that people have to understand these guys don't play forever. And if you want to see guys that are living legends while they're playing, you want to go to a Yankee game, to the closest place where you are, because Aaron Judge is that special. And I would say the same thing about Shohei Ohtani. I mean, this guy this year, he's struggling with the bat, right? I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, it happens to everybody. They get into a slump, and for whatever the reason, they're just not hitting. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's hitting 400 and 500 foot, home runs, and now he's just having a really hard time with it. Well, the good news is, he's not just a guy who bats, John, up there on the plate. He's a pitcher. And presently, he's got a freaking ERA of 0.82, one of the lowest in the first 7 starts of the wild card era since 1994, basically. I mean, it gives you a little idea. It's just amazing what this guy can do, right? And so he's struggling with the bat, but he's coming back with the pitching. He had to sit out the pitching for a while, not too long ago. And now here he is back. And he was saying he's 32 years old, which isn't that old for baseball, but it's getting older for sure. He said he feels great. He feels young. He wants to keep on playing, and he's pretty convinced that at some point he's going to turn around with the bat. Go see that guy too. Go see that guy. If you're a fan of anything in baseball, those two gentlemen are absolutely unbelievable living legends, and I just think it would be a really smart move to go to wherever they are, because they're that good, John, right?
Right, absolutely. And I do love, Pete, that Shohei Ohtani is also a pitcher, as well as that great hitter that he obviously is. And you know who else was? Babe Ruth.
Right? People forget that.
And then they had to have him just concentrate on hitting later in his career, and that's when he just racked up all those home runs. But he was hitting home runs all the time anyway. Yeah. But he was also a great pitcher, like this guy is a great pitcher. All right, what else you got? Close us out.
I just had one last fun thing. This is fun day, Thursday. I mean, things are going really well. The market's going much better than all the bears that are out there have tried to tell us how bad the markets are, how bad the earnings are going to be, how bad everything is. And meanwhile, we're making deals, we're doing things, and everything is going great. So I'll finish up the sports with just something kind of fun. What in the world, John, is going on with the trash talk of Texas, Florida, Ole Miss, LSU? I mean, this has gotten pretty crazy. And here's the craziest part. This isn't trash talk between all these players. This is trash talk between the coaches and athletic directors and all the rest of it. And by the way, the SEC is going to have their meetings. I think it's about a month away or something like that. And they're all going to be in the same spot, in the same room, talking about what's going on with the SEC and all the various players. But it might have started with Sarkisian, John, when he said, all you have to do is take basket weaving when you're at Ole Miss to get your degree. So he fired out that shot. Then Florida came back. They fired out a shot. Then the Ole Miss athletic director came back, and he gave the rest of them a shot. And then, of course, there's Lane Kiffin, who, by the way, he's going to be back. He's the head coach at LSU for the people who have forgotten. He will be at Ole Miss, where he was just the last couple of years. He had a record of 50-19, John, from 2020 to this past year. He had a great run with them, but decided he was going to go to LSU. Hey, everybody should do whatever they want to be able to do, right? I mean, I'm not offended by that. But how about the money they're paying him to, John? I think I read that his contract is $14 million a year, or something close to that. Anyway. So I can't say I blame him for signing signing up for that with LSU. But what do you think about these guys talking all the trash? Usually it's the players and the coaches come in and go, hey guys, take it easy. Let's do it on the field. Let's not do it with our mouths.
Yeah, let's not give them something for their bulletin board in the locker room.
Right, exactly.
But Pete, just like you said, Lane Kiffin, this past year when they were beating Oklahoma, he spotted this David Stone, who's a big defensive lineman for Oklahoma. And he looked over at him and he said, "You're a little quieter now than you were at the beginning of the game, David."
What's going on, man?
Yeah, when the coach is ripping the player for trash, you were trashing us then. Well, now you're not saying much, are you? And the guy's like,
it is fun, man. It's fun, and it's great that these guys are doing that, because you know what? It makes that much more relevant, much more interesting to kind of watch that. Even the coaches are getting into it. The athletic directors are getting into this, all the various rivalries and everything else. I mean, is it a little juvenile? Of course it is, but it's a hell of a lot of fun too. And I think this kind of, it gets people pretty riled up, and I can't wait for LSU to visit Ole Miss. I'll tell you that right now. September 19th, John.
Jeez, we might have to go down.
We might have to do that.
Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Let's see. I will be on with Liz Clayman tomorrow, Pete.
Nice.
She's in that 3:00 hour. Actually, it's somebody sitting in for Liz, but I'll be coming to you from, I think, from Cardone's, Pete.
Nice.
The Cardone campus tomorrow. And then we've got, the 10X Wealth Con on Saturday and Sunday. Pete and I will be there.
Well, we don't just talk real estate. We talk a little bit about wealth, too.
All right. Well, folks, have a great day. Let's hope everybody gets back safe and sound from China. And we will be back on Monday, Pete, at the usual time, right?
1 p.m. Eastern time, John. We'll see you then. Giddy up.
Bang.